Yeah, how you been, bro?
Man, just trying to work. That's it.
Man, it's crazy because last time we talked, it was like the beginning of the pandemic. We didn't know how long we was gonna be in this thing, and
Still
here we
here.
are now. The whole 2020 is basically like we're in the same position.
Yeah, pretty much.
How did you adjust to everything, you know, throughout the summer and the fall and now and in the winter?
Um, Honestly, it took a lot of getting used to. I feel like just adjusting to new, just the new way we had to like put out music and interact with the fans. Because in a way, we had to develop like a new breakdown in a way. Like it's different now because everything is locked down, everything is closed. There's curfews in certain places. The cases are going up in certain states. So it's like you got certain regions open and then you got certain other regions closed. So for me, I had a bunch of tours planned. We had to cancel that. I mean, I did my first Rolling Loud recently, which was virtual, and it was pretty dope. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it hasn't really stopped anything. We're still finding ways to interact with the fans, and I feel like in a way the streams are going up even more now, just because people have
Mm.
no choice but to listen. And for me, I'm just excited. The project is sounding amazing. The fans about to go crazy with it, and I feel like just this project overall sounds better than the last project, and that's always what the plan is to put out music that sounds better than the last. You feel me?
So, what were some of your biggest challenges or obstacles? Because you talked about like you were touring and you were really getting back in the flow of things. Because I remember you were saying that you had took some time off, and then like around 2018, 2019, you started warming up again, and Need Me went crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then you were all over the place, and then it was like everything shut down again. So like, what went through your mental at first, saying to yourself, "All right, we got to keep on pushing. We got to keep this momentum going."
I mean, it was crazy because right after I came off my tour and the whole pandemic broke out, I took another break, like maybe 2 or 3 months again, just from going to the studio and recording. And then that's when I put together the last project. I genuinely just feel like overall the last project was rushed. So, I don't know. I felt like with me, it's always a learning process as far as just what I make and the type of music I put out. But like I said, it hasn't really stopped anything. I feel like the fans still stuck with me. We're still going crazy. The dope thing now is when I do go back on tour, I have more music to give the fans. I have a longer set now. I have a longer catalog, so it'll be doper for the fans. I was supposed to debut in the UK. We didn't do that, but it'll be dope because when I finally get to, I could give them a big ass show now. So it's like back then I only had like two projects. We would have still went on tour with only like two projects because we it would have been hard to record and still perform. So I doubt. Who knows? That's why I'm not really mad at this whole pandemic thing breaking out the way it did,
Right.
because in a way it just gave me time. It gave me time to bag up and just give it out. You know.
So let's talk about Hood Life Crisis 3. Is this going to be the last one of the series, or are you going to have a 4, 5, 6, and 7?
I don't know. That's the thing. Like I don't want it to get played out. I feel like after a while certain things get played out and I feel like it's time to take a break from that and just focus on the album now. The fans are killing me for the album. They're going crazy and I think it's time to give them an album. I feel like that's like a bigger step in your career. For some reason like I feel like it says more about an artist when you release a dope album rather than a dope project like a mixtape and shit. And don't get me wrong, the first Hood Life Crisis to me is a classic. Just as
Classic,
far as
yes.
yeah, it's just as far as the music I put out because we had so many dope ass records on it. And even volume two, we took time for it to marinate and it has dope records on it too. So with volume
Agreed.
three, I just really wanted to make it my business that the fans hear elevation. I don't want them to hear repetitiveness. Like I know it's dope because I got back to my core sound. I stuck with my core sound, but I elevated it too, and you're gonna hear that. Like I got different records on this. I put a reggaeton record on it just because I feel like
Yeah.
I've been hinting at the little collab there. I feel like with certain things, I put the Puerto Rican flag in one of my music videos. I collab with Mike Towers. I did a remix to Bad Bunny and Jay Cortez, the Kitty record they got. So I feel like it's just
Wow.
perfect timing. Everything is just lining up the right way. So I got a record coming out with Dimelo Flow and Setch and Tiger. So like there's a lot of stuff lined up, and I just feel like this reggaeton record, me doing it by myself, it'll open up way more doors. I feel like more artists are gonna want to collab now. Just hearing me by myself on a track, you know.
I wanted to ask you about that record because I actually had a chance to listen to the project. Sufficiente, right? That's
You
the
can't
name of
get
it.
facts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wanted to actually ask you about that. So talk to me about the creation process of that record and like what inspired you to do it. And do you think you'll ever eventually like do something with a J Balvin or a Bad Bunny or somebody like that?
Yeah. The funny thing is, originally I sent that record to Anuel because he had wanted to do something,
Mhm.
and then I had sent it to Jay Cortez, and he wanted to do something with it too, but it kind of got to the point where I was like, you know what, let me just try to tackle this by myself. Because I feel like the main thing with the Spanish artists is like they collab with English artists because of the barrier. Like they speak Spanish, we speak English, so let's put it both on a track. So I said, fuck it, like let me do both by myself. Like let's see if I could do both by myself, just so like, because I don't feel like nobody's really doing that. You know, I can't really think of somebody that's doing that. So um yeah, and then the inspiration came from me going to PR. When I dropped the Mike Towers record, I was literally in Puerto Rico, so and that was my first time going. So I really saw how they interacted with the music and what they were playing every day. And they were playing. I heard people playing my music too out there, so it was just crazy. Like I felt like I owed it to my people to give them a record, a reggaeton record at that. So I
Yeah,
had linked up with the producer Hydro. He got a bunch of his credit list is ridiculous. He produces a bunch of like big records out there, like from Daddy Yankee to Anuel to Bad Bunny to Azuna, everybody you could think of, he's gotten a record with them. So he had sent me that record, and it's funny because my favorite record at the time, I kept playing it. It was this record with Arcangel and Sech, and I kept playing it, and he's like, "Yo, I got a similar vibe to that record," and he played it, and it was that beat, and I was like, "Oh shit, like." Fuck it, we out of here with it, and I did something, and I'm just excited. I feel like the response has been dope from the fans, and I can't wait for them to hear it.
yeah, it's definitely one of the standout records of the project. When I first heard it, I said, "Oh, okay, he's gonna do it in Spanish because you come off with the hook and it's all in Spanish, and then you start rapping in English, but the melody and the harmony it just flows so perfectly together. So you definitely did your thing on that. So hopefully we could see more of that from you.
Facts, no, for sure, for sure. Thank you.
The other record I wanted to ask you about was R&B shit. You and A Boogie with the Hoodie. How'd that one come together? Because that was the other standout record too.
Um, well, I didn't really want to rush anything with just collabing with him and getting in contact with him, and at the same time, I kind of wanted to get my name up too because I felt like in the beginning, like that was a comparison and just the artist that people really wanted me to do something with. So I had already did the thing with TJ. I had already collabed with Dirk and Nav. So like I just wanted to get my catalog up a little bit more. And then I just feel like the time was right. Eventually I had DM'd him, I think, and then we just ended up chopping it up. He had sent me something for his project. And then I said, fuck it, let me try to get something from our project. I had a dope record that I had him in mind. Originally I wanted Summer Walker on it. I wanted to see if I could what I could do with that. But then we just ended up throwing Boogie on it and he bodied it. So that's something I'm really excited because I feel like the fans have been dying to hear that, you know, like just a record with us. And that's all the way in New York. You feel me? That's definitely a dope
Yeah,
vibe. I feel like it just fit perfectly.
I feel like it's part of the new New York because traditionally there's always been like, I guess that stereotype or that thought that New York music sounds a certain way, but artists like you, A Boogie, TJ, you know what I'm saying, a bunch of others, the new wave that's coming out, you guys have your own style, your own sound, but you're still representing New York City. So I like what I'm seeing right there. Do you feel like there's going to be more collaborations like that down the pipeline? And you say you might do something with Summer Walker too.
Oh yeah, I would love to. I would love to collab with a bunch of artists in different genres just because it's about expanding my sound and expanding my name too to wider audiences, different audiences too at the same time. Because I feel like the world needs to hear me. So whatever I could do to like get my music heard, I'm gonna do that. So I feel like collabing with those artists are definitely necessary. Like that's definitely necessary in the long run if I wanna, you feel me? And I listen to their music too. Like it's not like I'm doing it just to do it. Like I genuinely love listening to these like Janae Aiko. like all these type of artists. I listen to them. Like even Charlie Puth, I believe is his name, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
He's a dope artist. I'm a big
yeah.
fan of him. Ed Sheeran, like these artists, like these are artists, and I could go to like Red Hot Chili Peppers. I could go to like rock bands and shit. Like it gets complicated. Like I'm just an all around music listener, and I felt like once I started putting the pen to the pad, it was necessary that I expanded my ear to what I listened to because back then I was strict and picky to what I listened to, but it got to a point when I was like, yo, I gotta acknowledge everything that's coming out because there's artists in India that are huge, there's artists in Korea that are huge, there's artists all over the world, you know?
Absolutely. It'll definitely expand your musical palette. I've been challenging myself to do that too, listening a little bit more pop and even some country stuff, you know? So
Country I gotta get into. I haven't gotten into that yet, but along the way I'm gonna get into that.
I would start with like the Kane Browns of the world and then just work your way from there.
All
Kane
right.
Brown is cool. You know, I haven't gotten all the way into it neither, but like he got some cool stuff.
Yeah.
What does 2021 look like for you?
Man, more music. I wanna pitch this idea I have and hopefully get it to Netflix or something. I definitely have a dope idea, dope
Okay.
concept. I would love to remake something. And let's see where I could go with that. Probably get director credit. That'll be amazing. But probably an album too. I want to give my fans an album. I think it's time to work on the album for sure. And hopefully touring. I think touring in the summer. I should have a couple of tours booked and set up, I believe.
Let me ask you this. If your tours are contingent upon you taking the vaccine, are you taking the vaccine?
Um I guess. I mean, fuck it. We go to fast food restaurants. We don't know what people cook it with. We trust people with our food. But I could trust a doctor. I feel like I don't know. I don't feel sick. I think I'm good. I don't. But I don't know. It's been a big ass delay with just me getting on stage and touring. So if I got a vaccine. I'll vaccine. I'll take that L.
Nah, I feel you on that, man. I've been asking a lot of artists that because there's always been a back and forth. Yo, I ain't taking
Yeah,
no vaccine or
like
anything
yeah,
like that. But what I'm hearing is a lot of, especially countries overseas, they're gonna require us to take the vaccine if we want to even be able to go into the country and stuff. So I
mhm,
know a lot of stuff, especially with artists and shows and tours, is gonna be contingent upon taking that vaccine. But you made a good point. It's like, we eat a lot of stuff.
it's
People,
fact.
you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know like who the weed man is or where that stuff is coming from.
Yeah,
So you don't know if it's lace. Nah, I definitely feel you on that, man. I'm gonna wrap it up with this question right here. What is 2020 taught you?
man. 2020 told me anything can happen. Keep your eyes open and expect anything because reality became what it is, and we had no choice but to accept it. I felt like with me, I learned a lot about myself as an individual. I learned a lot about adjusting to certain things because I had to adjust to certain situations, and I learned a lot about myself. Man, I'm not perfect. I gotta change certain things. Um, growth, definitely a lot of growth in my music, character development, just me as a person maturing and 2021, I hope the same thing can happen. More positivity and, like I said, more music.
Looking forward to it, bro. Hood Life Crisis 3, another classic. Man, much success to you, my brother. I'm enjoying watching your development, your growth, and your evolution. And I definitely think 2021 is going to be an even bigger year for you. So
Appreciate you.
keep
Thank
doing
you.
what you're doing, man. And we're
Of
going to support on our end.
course. Happy holidays. Enjoy it. Be safe.
Same to you, bro. Be safe.
Bye.
Later.